40, the score, compared to recent years, not good. I mean, let's just be candid. It's not good. This is country specific. We're looking at Ghana. And that score is not good. I don't place, and let me be, this is a very cautious statement I'm making. I don't place so much premium on the ranking as relative to their score.
Okay.
Because see, the number of countries keep changing. So really, if you fall in 5, 10, 6, sometimes go check the number of countries that were in the previous category. You see that they've changed. So that's not where my emphasis is. I'm not saying it's unimportant. It is important. But the emphasis, all these years that I've been studying CPI and we've been debating and arguing, the score is where my focus really goes. And 40, we came down from 43, we were 43 2016. And if you've been put at 40 2017, it's not good enough. I mean, you can't jubilate or celebrate that. But I see a certain trend. See, 2014, we were 48. 2015, we went to 47. We dropped 1 percentage point. Then 2016, we dropped to 43. That was 4 percentage points. To 2017, so it means that from 2014 to 2017, a matter of 3 years, we've dropped about 8 percentage points. That's not good for the country. Yes, it's perception, but if you know the methodology and the data sources, how this one is done, it's perception that is really well grounded because of the data sources and the institutions that take part in compiling it. So we need to take it serious. I have been a witness, perhaps even at one stage, an active participant in the way we annually treat this thing as a political football. Let's be honest, some of us have done that before. It's in the last 5, 6 years that I began to insist that, look, the thing is country specific. It does not mean that the government of the day has no line or responsibility, because some of the policy decisions, some legislative instruments and all those things that must be brought on board for us to be able to fight corruption must come from the executive, also comes from parliament and other places. So I'm not for a moment excluding an administration and the conduct of that administration from how such things are compiled and brought to bear on the perception. No, that's not what I'm doing. But the truth is, matter of that in this part of the world, it appears that what we've decided to do is that each year when it comes, depending on which government is in power, we go for the jugular. The opposition parties also then stand at the other side. That particular attitude, that positioning does not help us to actually look at the issues the way they are. Now it comes to the president, and I'm not sure, I haven't read the president's statement, but
that's what he said. The recent publication of Ghana's score in the 2017 Corruption Perception Index, organized by Transparency International, showing a further drop in our standing, a result largely based on the plethora of corruption allegations exposés before the onset of this administration, indicates the enormity of the task ahead.
Yes. Perhaps the operative word here is the largely. That's where it's contestable in terms of looking at the facts. But you see, I go back to the Ghana Integrity Initiative's own press release.
Right.
And perhaps within context, we will be able to begin to do a more, critical analysis. On page 2 of their press release, and if you don't mind, I would want to...
Please go ahead.
It says that 2017, and I stress 2017, one of the ladies you played was talking of 2016. That's not exactly correct. Let's be honest. This is more of a 2017 CPI.
Right.
But there's a certain residual element of 2016 in the compilation and calculation. And this is what is captured here. The 2017 CPI score indicates that in spite of Ghana's numerous efforts at fighting corruption, the canker is still a serious problem. Ghana's score of 40 points is a likely reflection of the inadequate investigations, prosecutions, and sanctioning of corruption during the period the 9 data sources covered. That is, 2016, 2 data sources, and 2017, 7 data sources. This is not Kweku Baako saying.
Right.
It is the organizers themselves, the investigators, or if you like, the agency, their local branch that is saying so. This is important. It says it is important to remind ourselves of the plethora of corruption allegations and exposés during the period in question, which might have influenced the perception of the respondents to the surveys, as well as the business experts. Examples include the 2016 election-related corruption issues, BAS branding scandal, Ghana Standards Authority's $1.2 million corruption scandal, Central Medical Stores arson saga, National Lottery Authority bribery, and numerous adverse findings in annual audit reports on the public sector. Then you are given a footnote, and it's important to go to the footnote to have a full complement of what is being suggested here. The footnote says other allegations and exposés include parliamentary vetting bribery scandal, the $2.2 billion United States bond issuance saga, the sale of 5 million gallons of contaminated fuel at Bust, the cash for seat allegations, financial malfeasance at the EC, Ameri Power deal, NCA United States $4 million scandal, the $72 million SNET software scandal, and the 2.4 million national ambulance contract scandal. You see, so to be serious, then you pick all, because this is what we have, the indicators we have here.
Right.
Perhaps there are many more, but these are what we've been given. If we want to be serious, we can focus. Obviously, 2016, 2017, it means the emphasis is on 2017. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
I don't know how we can do a percentage analysis here as to what went into the 40. I'm prepared to go along with the fact that majority of the 40 in terms of the score is relative to 2017. I think that's a more honest approach in dealing with the matter. But to be able to deal with the issue, then we have to take each item here. That is, if you want to do a serious work. It's the difficulty I have. And I'm not saying that to undermine the 40 score. The point is this: when you talk of parliamentary vetting bribery scandal as a specific, I hear civil society groups that wanted an independent scrutiny of that allegation, rather than Parliament, as it were, probing itself. Right. Even though what Parliament did was legal. There was nothing unconstitutional about it. But I hear civil society groups who say that, look, for greater transparency, for greater probity and accountability, it shouldn't be Parliament doing that. But I ask myself, well, Parliament proceeded to do that, not unlawfully, not unconstitutionally, but in terms of the proceedings and the report, I'm convinced that the allegation of bribery was bogus and fraudulent, in my candid opinion. So yes, if we want to talk about a situation where civil society groups want independent examination of those allegations rather than Parliament, that's another issue we can interrogate.
Okay.
It might even require some amendments here and there. It may be taking away some powers from Parliament. But the truth of the matter, my brother, is like the cash for seat. Again, take the proceedings, take the report. The allegations were bogus and fraudulent. That's my candid opinion. So, well, in terms of making the compilation, all these things are brought on board. For people like us who come to sit to analyze, we can isolate them item by item and deal with. For instance, bots. You know my stand on bots. I think bots was not properly handled.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, repeated.
Yes, I'm convinced that the government didn't do much justice to its own integrity and credibility by the way and manner they went about the boss thing. Particularly when a committee has been set up, BNI itself was part of the committee to investigate the matter. Midstream, we have a Minister of Energy holding a press conference and putting the BNI report as the basis for vindication. It made no sense to me, and it still doesn't make sense to me. So there again, the system, or the government in this case, I think can be found culpable in terms of how it handled it. For all you know, there is no evidence to show that the boss CEO had done something wrong. But I'm saying that let it go through the required processes with greater transparency so that people can be convinced. As of now, I, Kweku Baako Jnr. here, I'm not convinced.
All right, let's hear from the Honorable Minister of Seni. What do we really make of them?